This is Georgetown, the podcast. Georgetown County and the city. Georgetown is growing, changing, expanding, and blossoming. The Hammock Coast of South Carolina. It's a renaissance. This is Georgetown, the podcast. Here's your host, Scott Richards.
Welcome to Georgetown, the podcast. I am Scott Richards, and once again, we are in beautiful downtown Georgetown. I am a bit distracted because it's a gorgeous day, and the water is out there, and the boats are out there. The Maritime Museum is our host site, and so once again, thanks to Hope and her staff. Great location. If you've not been, it's free. Come and see the maritime history of Georgetown. This is worth a visit all by itself, but there's lots more. And today I'm happy to tell you our guest is Ayla Dyer. I'm going to let Ayla introduce yourself and the organization because it's one of those names that is a little bit longer. And I think there are probably people that may not know what this is, but they know what you have done.
Right. Well, thank you for that intro. I am the Workforce Development Director for Waccamaw Regional Council of Governments. Our department actually runs the SC Work Centers that you all may know as it used to be called the unemployment offices, but we like to call them the re-employment offices because that's the point. Waccamaw Regional Council of Governments has also many more departments, not just mine. There's an aging department, which helps people navigate through Medicare. There's a referral specialist who helps people find different services they might need when they've reached a certain age in their life. We also have a transportation department that deals with a lot of the roads and highways. And we also have a planning department that helps local governments work on their strategic plans and any kinds of city or urban or rural planning.
This Regional Council of Governments, what governments are involved in that?
Well, that's the funny thing about it. It's really not so much like that. It's we do cover Horry, Georgetown, and Williamsburg counties, but we are really one unit. We receive state, federal, and local funding. So the primary goal is to help local governments. That's where the name comes from. It's local governments. We're helping the local governments move forward in their planning.
So you're independent of the governments, but you're there for the government.
Correct. That's a perfect way to say it, yes.
And so your particular area, of course, is the employment. What does that mean? What is it that keeps you busy most of the time?
Well, our department focuses on, it's called the Workforce Innovation and Opportunity Act, otherwise known as WIOA. And it is a wonderful program. It's a federal program that was designed to help people with barriers to employment. And that can be anything from being underemployed to underskilled, to help them find jobs. And if they're not job ready, we help put them in training that will help them find jobs that will lead to a more sustainable life. On the flip side of that, we help employers who are looking for people to hire, which will help them become more competitive in the workforce.
And we're going to get into lots of history in Georgetown in a little bit, but what's the atmosphere now in terms of the big picture of jobs and employment in the region?
Well, we've taken quite a hit when it comes to the paper mill IP closing and the steel mill closing.
What were those numbers?
International Paper, when their first round, when the actual paper mill itself closed, we were looking at about 650 employees. But that does not count all of the contractors that worked for the paper mill, also the truck drivers, the clean, janitorial staff, any kind of contractor that worked for the paper mill. Then, of course, the box plant, the container plant, just announced its closure a couple weeks ago. And we're looking at another 125 people from that. And the steel mill's been closed for quite a while now. And I'm not really sure what the numbers are on that, but that was quite a hit too. And that was a little different because it would close and then reopen, close and reopen.
And I've heard from a number of people, it has had a big emotional impact, the steel mill, especially the steel plant. It's had a bit of an emotional impact on the community, even though, and that's perfectly understandable, even though we think there are great things coming from that site, because it is prime.
It is prime site. It is definitely property. But yeah, I agree with that completely.
So let's talk a little bit about Georgetown. Do you live here in Georgetown?
I do.
Yep.
I do live here in Georgetown. I lived in the city for many years, and then I ended up moving to Belle Isle, which is a little bit outside of the city. But I love it. I love it here.
Why?
Look, I think that the best answer I can give you is the fact that you just can't get enough of its beauty. Imagine walking down the street and feeling like you're in a Hallmark movie. It's quite the experience to just walk down and feel like you're on Main Street, USA, where the shops are all unique and individual. Then you can take a walk and wander down the Harbor Walk and feel the breeze off the water. And then when you walk, you can stop and sit down and have a sip to drink and enjoy the beautiful scenery.
And nobody's tearing stuff down. You drive around or you walk around. We've had another guest said they live next door to a house that was built in 1750. I'm not sure there are many places in the state or in the nation where all of that is true. And a lot of it is also, we protect our trees, oak trees that are hundreds of years old, the marsh. I think this area has done a really good job. Maybe people disagree, but I think they've done a really good job of protecting the natural beauty, because as you said, there's a lot of it.
There really is. And as a matter of fact, my house in Georgetown, right in the city, had an oak tree out front that was over 500 years old.
Oh, wow. Do they require maintenance? Did you have to do anything?
We didn't have to do a thing.
It just
let it do it.
Right. So it's still there?
It's still there. Oh, why? Well, as long as we have say so, it will always be there.
I got you.
You're watching or listening to Georgetown, the podcast.
We've been part of the Georgetown community for 26 years. What excites you about Georgetown now? Whether it's the city or the county, the area?
I think it's the fact that, again, as I mentioned, the fact that you just feel like you're in a Hallmark movie all the time. Christmas time, you walk down the streets and it's beautifully decorated. And then there's all of the shops that are just small, unique, different. The people are amazing. You're walking down the street, you run into somebody you know and haven't seen in a while maybe, and stop to catch up for a little bit. And then, of course, there's Pawleys Island Beach. You've got the beach in close proximity to you, where it's quiet and not rushed and not overcrowded, like the buzz of Myrtle Beach. And there's also the fact that we're close to everything. We're 45 minutes away from Myrtle Beach. We're an hour away from charming Charleston, so you can take a day trip if you want to. So it's just, there's a lot to offer. Georgetown has a lot to offer.
And it goes the other way too.
Yes.
So you could come from Charleston, you can come from Myrtle Beach. And I have to admit, I've lived in Myrtle Beach for 40 years, and I forget a day trip to Georgetown. Not even a day, we're here. It's like, why don't we go down or just wander Front Street or boat rides or all of the activities? And one of the things I've committed to myself is I want to do some of the ghost tours. I want some of the stories, because they are so unique. And I'm not saying I believe, but I believe I could believe.
That's right. I do.
I want you to put your time traveler hat on for a moment. 5 years, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, what do you think will be happening in Georgetown? I say that because clearly we're growing. This area is exploding. There's a lot of places in our nation where that's a horror story 5, 10, 20 years from now. What do you see? And anything that you hope?
I wish I had a clear answer on that, but I don't. And a few years ago, I probably would have said it's all about growth, new industry, new businesses, higher paying wages for the community to be able to thrive. With the closures of the mill, I think that a lot of that is uncertain. What I envisioned is Georgetown transforming into a truly special place, a destination where people will come to experience our rich history. They will want to come and see our stunning rivers, our beautiful coastline, and just feel a part of us actual hometown. I think that, a lot of that is uncertain now. But Georgetown is at a crossroads, and I think it's a good opportunity for Georgetown to decide where they want to go and what they want to be. One thing I have to say is that the mill sites cannot be allowed to remain empty because of the fact that we don't want that to become a symbol of things we've lost. We want them to become a symbol of what we've become or what we're going to become. And also the other fact is that we have to take into account all of the families whose lives were turned upside down with the closures. And I think every step forward needs to revolve around them. Every conversation that's had, every planning moment, because really the success of Georgetown hinges on the community and the people who built it to stay here and to be supported and to thrive.
Well, I would think that especially for a younger generation, we have to have a reason for them to stay. If you had your druthers, what would you see the paper mill site, the steel mill site, what do you think would be the best for this area? How would you see that?
I'm torn on that. I do see it becoming a beautiful destination site. More shops, more outdoor events, more things for the young people to do. You know, there needs to be more things that will keep the young people engaged and want to stay here and want to raise their families here, because we don't want to lose our work. I'm speaking from a workforce point right now. We don't want to lose our people to other areas, especially our young people right now. I would love to see it thrive and become a tourist destination, but then, you have the flip side of that. Will that offer the high wages we need to keep people here? So it's a two-sided deal, and it's a big decision that I think is going to be coming up right now in the near future.
How does that tie into the rest of the South Carolina coast, do you think? What's happening in Myrtle Beach, what's happening in Charleston? It seems almost inevitable that it'll have some tourism impact in those areas. But, you're in the job world and creating jobs. Ideally, what would that mean? What would that look like?
Myrtle Beach is growing at leaps and bounds. I mean, it's just exploding in terms of population.
Yes, I think the recent census said it's the fastest growing community.
I think you're exactly right.
In the nation.
And it's expected to grow even more over the next few years.
And the issue, and this is not a negative, but it's people that are retiring, moving to the area. It's not the workforce.
Not the workforce.
Right.
It's important that we keep that in our minds, because we don't want Georgetown to become stagnant. We want to keep the industry glowing, and we do want to keep companies thriving because we need our workforce here. We don't want to lose them. And then you have Charleston, which already a lot of Charleston people do like to come up here. I've heard it termed as Georgetown being the little Charleston. We also want to make sure, though, that we keep it local friendly also. The people who live here, we want to make sure that our locals are happy here and content and not part of some big tourist.
Amen to that.
Yeah.
When we talk about Georgetown, your favorites, and if it's restaurants, it's attractions, it's
Right. There's
walking. Yeah, what do you do?
Yeah, there's so much here. One of my favorite things is probably, I love Front Street, the city, just walking into the shops. I've got two favorite businesses. Well, they're all great, but the one I think about most, the shop, is Tomlinson's, where you walk in and you can spend hours just digging through their goods.
Do you like this shirt?
Is that from Tomlinson's?
This is from Tomlinson's just about an hour ago. I love Tomlinson's.
Isn't it great?
Does it feel like it's 1958 or something? I love it.
Back in time.
Yeah.
It's wonderful, and you don't know what you'll find.
No, every time it's different.
And you walk in there thinking you don't need anything, and you walk out
Because
realizing you did.
why not?
Georgetown Marketplace, which is really fun and cool. I don't know if we've been in there, but
I don't know that I have.
it's different because it's full of different vendors. They each have their own booths in there, and it's anything from handcrafted items to boutique clothing, just to unique gadgets here and there.
That's on Front Street too?
Yep, it's right on Front Street. They have food items. It's just a fun place to explore. And then there's also the restaurants. One of my favorite places to go grab a drink after work with friends is the Eliza at the George Hotel.
That's new.
It's the outside bar in the back. If I just think about it, I feel like I'm on an island. You can have anything from a cold beer to a fancy cocktail. And then, of course, there's the River Run restaurant, which is a staple of Georgetown. Good food. You're guaranteed good food, a great view of the river. It's great atmosphere. And then Burt Green Gardens. Can't forget about Burt Green Gardens.
Have you been to their Nights of 1,000 camp?
Every
year?
I go with my mom and dad, and then we go every single year. It's a family tradition that we've made. And then also can't forget about East Bay Park. I like to run, and that is the best place to run. So if you ever want to run, go past the docks, you come around by the bay, and then you can see all the nice, beautiful homes that are in Georgetown City. Then there's the Maritime Museum. I have to mention the Maritime. I mean, how cool to be able to come in and see what a thriving, bustling community, port city that Georgetown was back in the day.
Just cool. And we should give them a shout out. They do a lot of events.
It's a boat show.
Well, I mean, in terms of the facility itself, weddings and receptions, it's like, wow, how cool is this?
Yes, it's wonderful. But the boat show is another great event that's held every year, the annual wooden boat show. That's so much fun. The whole community comes out. The stores participate by being welcoming and having them come in.
It's a really very special place. Well, and you clearly have a passion for this. So I'm so glad that you've been able to join us. Let's go back to the original, your organization. If they're looking, how does all that work? Is there a website they need to look at? How do I get connected?
If they're looking for a job, they can go to www.waccamawworks.org, and it has all of the information. It also talks about what the SC Work Centers have to offer, not just our workforce program, but everything that you can get, all the services you can get in a SC Work Center. If you're looking for more information on some of the other departments that I mentioned earlier, such as aging department, transportation, you can go to www.WRCOG.org. They have all of the departments are listed there and the services provided. So that's the best way to do it.
Ayla Dyer, thank you so much for being with us. We love hearing about the favorites parts of Georgetown, and you've got a unique perspective. I'm just so glad that we've had a chance to do this. Georgetown, the community is really something special. You've said it. It's people. It is, I think, going through a bit of a renaissance, and I'm not sure what 5-10 years will look like.
Right.
But I think it's got a lot going for it, and I think we're on the verge of something very, very nice and special.
Totally.
Well, thank you for being with us. I am Scott Richards, and this is Georgetown, the podcast.
Thank you for watching or listening to Georgetown, the podcast. Learn more about the Hammock Coast and Georgetown. Read Georgetown Magazine in print, pick one up around Georgetown and along the Carolina coast. Or digitally, visit readgeorgetownmag.com.